Homeopathy is a full system of medicine, and it's based upon the use of animal, mineral, or vegetable remedies in very high dilutions in order to engage the immune system to heal itself, so that there's no material substance, yet the energy body recognizes what the remedy is and then starts the healing process. So it's completely safe, and the same remedies can be used for children, infants, pregnant women, adults, and it can be highly effective. It's vibrational medicine, and we are vibrational beings. So we are all vibrating at a particular frequency, and if you match a medicine that vibrates at the same frequency, it can bring you into balance so that you attain a greater degree of health. It can be curative in that if I'm stung by a bee and I have redness and swelling and pain in an area, and I use homeopathic remedy called Apis mellifica, which is bee venom, when my system recognizes that bee venom, it will balance things so that I physiologically bring down the swelling and the pain and the redness. So it's introduced to my system at an energetic level, but I respond completely, so at a physiological level as well as an energetic level. And this is how energetic medicine works. There are some differences between the science of vaccines and the science of homeoprophylaxis, because weakening a substance is called attenuation. So vaccines are attenuated, but only to a certain point. There's still something material in the vaccine. Then adjuvants are added, preservatives are added, antibiotics are added. So there are many other elements in that vaccine, and the attenuation for homeoprophylaxis is much higher, so that there are no original molecules of the substance. So what you're getting is an energetic imprint. It's almost like downloading information, downloading something to your computer, and the system reads that, learns from that, and knows how to recognize it if it encounters it in nature. With a vaccine, you're providing a physiological stimulus to manipulate the immune system and to create an inflammatory response. So the antigen is there, which is the disease product, and then an adjuvant, which excites the inflammatory arm of the immune system and creates antibodies. Well, what if you were able to energetically receive this disease so that it holds no risks but all the benefits? Your body registers that, and then your body can elicit an immune response that keeps you healthy or reduces the symptoms of the disease if you were to encounter it in nature. Studies have shown, Dr. Golden's studies have shown over a 15-year period, that those children who had taken HP were actually healthier than those children who had just not been vaccinated and done nothing. So that HP exercises the system in a way similar to an immune response, and that the system is then primed and ready to meet all kinds of diseases as they come down the road, viruses. And what I find with my own clients, those doing HP have fewer colds, sore throats, ear infections, and maybe they're still getting viruses, but they're asymptomatic because their immune systems are toned, their immune systems are robust. So studies are showing us that HP is beneficial even more than those who choose not to vaccinate. In 2011, there was a randomized controlled study done in Brazil with a remedy we have called influenzinum. It's made from influenza, and those not taking it were 3 times more likely to contract influenza. If you look at the statistics, there are more deaths and injuries from the measles vaccine than from wild measles. Last year there were 644 cases. There were no deaths from measles. In the Spanish influenza epidemic, 1918-1919, there was a mortality rate of 28%, those people contracting the Spanish flu. For those people taking homeopathic remedies, there was a 1% mortality rate. So it was highly successful, and we still use many remedies for cases of the flu that are much more effective for treating the flu. In lieu of having the actual disease, homeoprophylaxis provides all the benefits of the disease with none of the risks. Mother Nature designed childhood diseases with a purpose in mind. They're benign diseases that are they're self-limiting, typically in childhood. If they're contracted by an adult, they're much more difficult to deal with complications. So these childhood diseases exercise the immune system. So there's a purpose for them, and studies are showing us that they prevent future illnesses, ovarian cancer, brain tumors, different illnesses. While some children might not be able to withstand the natural disease, perhaps, and you don't want a child to suffer. We don't want suffering. So if they contract measles and they're suffering too much, that's not a good thing. We don't know that everyone can withstand a case of measles. So protection is a good thing. Homeoprophylaxis serves the purpose of protecting them from future illnesses or allowing their body to mount an appropriate response. Dr. Whatcott pointed out that studies are showing cases of chickenpox in childhood help prevent brain tumors as an adult. Cases of mumps help protect from ovarian cancer as an adult. So these diseases are protective and they're designed for children in nature. Chickenpox, there was a study, a surveillance study after the chickenpox vaccine was developed. And that surveillance study was designed to see what effect that vaccine was having. Gary Goldman was one of the researchers who published a study with Neil Miller. And what that study showed was that there was an increased incidence of shingles, not only among children, but at the adult population as well. Because when you have wild chickenpox, every time you come in contact with a child or grandchild with chickenpox, you receive what's called an exogenous boost. It's another boost to your immune system, which helps you to stay healthier. So if we remove wild chickenpox, the exogenous boosts don't exist, and you are more prone to developing shingles. So Gary Goldman's study showed him that cases of shingles were exponentially higher than they were prior to the chickenpox vaccine. He brought this back to the CDC, but they were not willing to publish it. They said, we'll just make a vaccine for shingles. That will solve the problem. So he published in a European journal called Vaccine, and many European countries did not adopt the recommendation for a chickenpox vaccine, while the US did. We're seeing more cases of shingles in children and adults, recurrent shingles, and the cost and the pain with shingles is far worse than with chickenpox. Childhood disease, it exercises the immune system in that mounting a fever and having a discharge is exercising the system in a circular way, because health is really adaptability. It's knowing how to get sick, how to get better, how to get sick, how to get better. It's not just being well and never moving. Right, right. So, you know, these viruses that children catch during the first few years of life are instrumental in exercising their immune systems for health later on. I have lots of people who are doing homeoprophylaxis for, say, pertussis. And then they encounter children with pertussis, so they're exposed, and the children are not contracting pertussis, or it's a very, very mild case that's easily dealt with. So it's almost as if you're educating the immune system with something so that when it sees it in nature, it will recognize it and build the proper response. A strong immune system is your best bet. Dr. Whatcott pointed out that there are many ways you can strengthen your immune system, and you're going to be producing the right kinds of antibodies to keep yourself healthy. It's in children who are nutritionally deprived, that are most prone to complications from childhood diseases. The cost benefits are amazing for homeopathy. It's something that can be easily distributed to third world countries because of the low cost. And there's no need for refrigeration. It's easily manufactured. Protection occurs immediately after taking it. There's not months to develop antibodies. The cost is pennies per dose, and they never expire. So you can use remedies year after year if you have influenzainum or if you have different nosos that you want to boost for certain diseases. Very inexpensive. Receiving a vaccine can take weeks to months for immunity in the individual to become evident, where with homeoprophylaxis it can be effective immediately, and the production of homeoprophylaxis takes less than 2 weeks to produce a remedy. Everybody should be using homeopathy.